Mind is a mechanism that's similar to a computer. It's like a manager of the body that connects the senses. My perception of that, it's more poetic. Hi, I'm Odette, the hypnotherapist, confidence coach. I also teach meditation. I cover well-being, nutrition, and emotional detox. I previously was in a different field, but I had two near-death experiences. When I was 21, I went to swim in Germany. My foot got caught somewhere and I couldn't move. I started jolting, and the more I struggled, the more deep I went, and I couldn't breathe. And then the last thing I had within me was a breath, and then I lost consciousness, and then my friend resuscitated me. I just remember the last breath that I had. My life stopped in that moment, and I realized that all that I was breath and nothing else. I wasn't my past. I realized that all that I really was that breath. I decided to understand myself and explore the human condition. So I started by studying psychodynamic counseling, studied with spiritual teachers. I specialized in presence meditation, which is to remain present through the breath. I would say the most basic tool that one can have is the breath. The best way to manage emotions is through breathing, to pacing your breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. If you have a stressful job, that is the best way to manage through any situation, because it keeps your brain alert and your organs receiving oxygen that it needs to soothe itself. I was interested in how the brain connects with the body, and cognition really helps understanding that, like that we are susceptible to our senses. So there's about 5 senses. The senses are visual, auditory, kinesthetic, which is to do with the body and the smell, and intuition, which is to do with sensing, like feeling. So when we work with hypnosis in that sense, we use suggestive language, neuro-linguistic programming, and we use the senses to help us to connect with the mind and break thought patterns and rearrange the brain to kind of record information differently. The mind is like a manager of the body. But what animates the mind is a consciousness, is being consciously aware. Without awareness, the mind is just a device that manages functions of the body. So if I'm unconscious and in a coma, I'm not able to sense a lot of things because I'm not able to process, because my mind is not active. But through the mind, other activities happen, like the heart is still beating, whereas when you are aware and you're conscious, then the mind becomes something that is alive. So my perception feeds as voice or thought of what I'm experiencing through perception, according to the senses I mentioned earlier. So for me, that's thought. If the thought that I'm having is connected to my past, then I'm not in the present moment. What thought is a reflection of where I am right now. If you don't have the understanding, then you start believing that you're just your thoughts and what you observe. You become focused on what is external, rather than if you have the understanding, and the mind is just a mechanism in which you filter your reality, or what you see before your eyes, that you're not what the mind says you are, because you are a being discovering what reality really is through experience. If I were in that situation that I became aware or became conscious that my thought process was negative, my suggestion to that situation would be it's actually great. So in social situations, when somebody's toxic, when somebody's violent, you don't like hang out with them every time they hit you, you wouldn't like go back to them, but you actually would starve that relationship. This is what the first thing I would say one should have. So it doesn't mean like that life sometimes doesn't get rough and things don't get tough, but it means that you create an environment that is healthy enough that you can, deal with any challenges. Once one starts saying positive affirmations, I would say to tell them before bedtime or in the morning. They really help to set up new thought patterns in your mind and beliefs. If you say them over a period of 3 weeks, it really changes. You have to create that within yourself. And also another one that is very useful is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule, which if we say that, it interrupts and resets our prefrontal cortex, which focuses on information or beliefs that we have. So one of the ways to stay in your body is to like actually do the breathing in situations, deep breaths when you're in situations that you find difficult, to ground yourself, like to sit on the grass, spend time in nature, so you can actually have time to catch up with yourself. And also like to actually write things down, journal, so you pay attention to how you're reacting to situations, so you're not like resentful of your cousin because like when you were 4 he did this and you never got to talk about it and nobody heard you when you tried to say it, and you know, so it's basically a reaction to trauma. Also, I would say get the support of a coach or a counselor or somebody who actually can help you to manage your emotions better. And also like exercise, surround yourself with positive people or just people that can understand you and support you. And that's what I would wish to share with people that are experiencing that.